Have you ever noticed that the kindest people you know are often the most tired? They're the ones who always show up, always listen, always say yes. But if you look closely, you'll see it. The exhaustion behind their smile, the weight behind their kindness. Because kindness has a dark side that nobody talks about. We're taught that kindness is always good, that being nice makes us worthy, that caring more means being better. But for many people, kindness wasn't a choice, it was a survival skill. As children, they learned that being agreeable earned love, that staying quiet kept the peace, that putting themselves last made them acceptable. Over time, kindness stopped being generosity. It became identity. And when kindness becomes who you are, saying no feels dangerous. So you keep giving, you keep helping, you keep smiling. Even when you're empty. Forced kindness isn't kindness, it's a mask. A mask that says, I'm fine. A mask that says, I don't need anything. But masks are heavy, and the longer you wear them, the harder it is to breathe. Behind every act of self-sacrifice lives a quiet resentment, a small voice that asks, what about me? That voice is usually ignored. Because kind people believe they're not allowed to choose themselves. Psychologists call this compassion fatigue. It's what happens when empathy is given without limits, when care becomes depletion. People who constantly put others first are more likely to feel anxious, depressed, and burned out. Unchecked kindness doesn't make you noble, it makes you invisible. The kinder you are, the more people expect, the more they rely, the less they ask what you need. Without realizing it, you train the world to overlook you. And invisibility isn't peace, it's loneliness wrapped in politeness. Here's the part no one warns you about. Suppressed needs don't disappear. They collect, they ferment, they come out as irritation, passive aggression, sudden emotional explosions. We like to believe kindness protects us from darkness. But kindness without honesty creates it. Every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you smile when you want to cry, you abandon yourself. And self-abandonment always has consequences. So why do kind people struggle so much with boundaries? Because we were taught that worth equals selflessness, that love is earned by giving, that being easy is safer than being real. But true kindness doesn't erase the self, it includes it. If your kindness costs your mental health, your joy, or your identity, it's no longer kindness, it's self-neglect dressed as virtue. The brain is wired for empathy, but it's not built for endless, boundaryless giving. Without limits, empathy turns into chronic stress, and stress slowly destroys you from the inside. So the problem isn't kindness, it's kindness driven by fear. The solution is uncomfortable but simple. Kindness must begin with you, not in a selfish way, but in an honest one. Just like on an airplane, you put your oxygen mask on first. Because if you collapse, you help no one. Boundaries aren't rejection, they're clarity. They say, this is what I can give, and this is what I cannot. People with boundaries are trusted more, because when they say yes, they mean it. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about choosing yourself without guilt. You may lose relationships, you may disappoint people, but relationships built on your exhaustion were never healthy to begin with. Real kindness comes from abundance, not depletion. It doesn't bleed, it doesn't perform, it doesn't disappear. If you've ever felt exhausted by being kind and visible despite being generous, you're not broken. You were just never taught balance. The dark side of kindness isn't anger, it isn't boundaries. The real monster is self-neglect, and once you face it, your kindness doesn't vanish. It becomes stronger, more honest, more alive, because the world doesn't need endless yeses. It needs people brave enough to love without losing themselves. That is the kind of kindness that heals everyone.